He is a freelance 3D artist. He's developed Explorer. He does animations for some of the coolest space websites and YouTubers that they're out there. I'll let him explain that further. And he's also working on some future projects. I'd like to welcome him here to Future Astronaut. And so, with that, I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little bit further, and then we'll go on with some of the questions.
Thank you so much. Well, hi, my name is Caspar Stanley, and I am from Denmark. I'm 23, I think, and yeah, I do rocket renders and animations for a living or part time, as I'm also studying. Yes, that is me.
And so, what are you studying? What are you into as far as
Programming and yeah,
programming?
computer science. It's called.
Mhm.
So I also like doing programming and like combine it with 3D to make games and experiences. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Sounds cool. And your latest animation that you are working on is for Tim Dodd, the everyday astronaut. I noticed that you have his shirt on. There we go. A lot of us have his shirts. Uh, Tell us
the
what
awesome
you go
shirts.
through. Tell us what create. They are awesome shirts, especially the Raptor shirt. I love the Raptor shirt.
Oh yeah.
Um, tell us what you go through. What's your creative? How does that work as far as you creating the animation, working with the team to help build uh, the video that ultimately comes out on YouTube?
Yeah. Well, yeah. First of all, I'd like to say that I really like working with Tim and Andrew, his
Uh,
editor. It's
yeah,
just, I mean, he was my favorite YouTuber before working with him, and then to be able to work with him is just really cool. Um, so it's actually it's a little bit different from working with other like clients because it's much more of a it feels much more like a collaborative effort, really, because he sort of he has a very clear idea of what he wants, and then he sort of explains to me um, what he needs for certain parts of the certain segments of the video, and then um, I start working on something. I send him some like preliminary sketches or renders, and we talk about how it exactly we want it to look for the video. Yeah,
cool. So you're in what country? You're
Denmark.
in Denmark. So you have to work with him. He's up there, I think, in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or Cedar Falls, Iowa, one of those.
Yeah.
And so you have to work with him. Um, so, what's your favorite project that you've done so far in the animation world and the rocket space? And what are the other clients you might be working for?
Um, I mean, a favorite of mine right now is just our latest video with Tim. I mean,
Hmm.
that is really cool. It's about engine cycles and
Hmm.
how different rocket engines work, down to like from the simplest ones with just pressure fed engines up to like the Raptor full flow stage combustion cycle, very
Hmm.
complex, and trying to break that down. I think that was really cool to work on.
You
Yeah,
learn a whole lot about rocket science if you're
I
working
feel
on a
like I
video with
understand in rocket engines much better now that I made that, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna feel the same way. So that's really cool.
yeah.
Um, I've worked with, I mean, I've worked sort of with the other space tubers, or at least they've
Uh,
used my animations a little bit.
mhm,
Um, I've worked with some companies in the industry, but I can't really say who
mm.
or who I'm
Who
currently
they are.
working with. But that's really cool.
Hmm.
But just yeah, obviously also just making some animations for myself and posting that on YouTube. It's been a while
Hmm.
because I've been really busy with, especially work with Tim here. It's like we've been uh, making more and more in-depth animations and more specialized to the video. So I've been working a lot with him. Yeah.
So you roll off one project right onto another one. Do you have time for studies?
Luckily, I knew like a lot about programming before I started, because if I didn't, I don't think I would have had time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty. I don't want to say easy, but it starting up on the education in 2020 wasn't didn't take too much of my free time. It obviously picked up a little bit over the last 2 years, but yeah, I do have a little bit of time, but I do work a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So you're into programming, and we talked. That's where Elon kind of got his start. And
True.
now you're into rockets. So are you trying to, you're following in his footsteps, kind of.
I guess. I mean,
Of course, you haven't invented a video game, and you haven't gotten those things accomplished yet. But I could see those in your horizon.
well, I made some games, true, but I haven't like made
Okay, good.
a totally. We can talk about that. But I
Go
haven't
ahead.
made like the next PayPal or the next Zip2. Like he made the original like Yellow Pages basically for the internet, along with his brother, I think. So just need to do that. Easy.
There you go.
No, it's not intentional. Like I've always since I was like 12 or something, was into like trying to make games and trying to do 3D models and programming. And then probably when I was 14, I really started doing that. Yeah, I think the very first 3D model I made was a mod for Kerbal Space Program. And I tried to make this fuel tank, and then that's how I got started 3D modeling. So yeah, and just
Cool.
onwards from there.
There you go. There you go. Maybe you'll be the Elon Musk of for the Europe, right? And Europe wants to build their own capsule now and have their own astronaut launch capabilities. So maybe that's coming.
I mean, you definitely aspire to be that, and then probably end up somewhere high up, I guess.
There you go. So you do other things, some of your other projects. Why don't you tell us about Rocket Explorer and some of the other projects that you have going on, and so that the viewers will understand what else you're into, and then we'll talk a little bit about how you got started in animation and in this arena. So go ahead.
Yes. So Rocket Explorer is this sort of game / app / experience that I developed I probably started in 2018 or 2019 or something. And it started when I got a VR headset. I bought a used VR headset because it was just so exciting to me, and I've wanted to have one for a long time. And then I was already into rockets at that time, so immediately I obviously had to like model a 3D rocket and put it into virtual reality so I could see a rocket. And then I just sort of started modeling more rockets and more, and then I had this whole VR experience. So I called it Rockets VR and started posting about it on Twitter. And then because I had heard of Copenhagen Suborbitals, this not company, crowdfunded organization in Denmark here, building rockets. And I thought they were really cool, so I made their rocket and put it into Rockets VR, and they thought that was really cool, so they shared it. And then that sort of got the ball rolling, and more people picked up on it. And then I wanted to make it not just VR, so that anyone could sort of play it on their PC, and I called it Rocket Explorer, and then kept developing, and then I released it last summer, so the summer of 2021 on Steam. And then I did a small update, and then I haven't really touched it since, which I really regret. But school sort of picked
You-
up there, and then it was difficult to find the motivation for it because then I had
Mhm.
published it. But there's still so many exciting things that I want to do with it. So
Mhm.
updates are definitely coming in the future. I just gotta find the motivation and time for it.
Yeah, that is that is a challenge for all of us, right? We all love rockets. That's the reason we all are here. So tell us what your next project is that you're working on that you can tell us about, and when we'll be seeing the fruits of your labors as they become available. Go ahead.
Yeah. So obviously, Tim is going to be working on more videos, and I am thinking I will be doing animations for those too. That's going to be really exciting.
Hmm.
Um, I am working on this this model that uh, I will launch it in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be really
Hmm.
exciting. So a little teaser for you there.
You can
Um,
tell us what the model is, or is that secret?
hmm, I just have
Mm,
to make my mind up about that. It's going to be something to do with rockets.
it will have something to do with rockets.
Yes,
Great.
and it's going to be pretty big. It's going to be like this size, sort of. So
Yep.
it's a big model. It's very cool. It's very
And,
difficult to make, so it'll be available in very like limited amount. So
so you're going to sign each one and
yeah,
number
I
them?
can do that, or do like a little card
There we
with it.
go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
um,
and then I
awesome.
mean, there's some more stuff coming. Um, there's an animation I made for uh, a company in the industry, but they haven't. I don't think they've published it like publicly yet. But that would be
Hmm.
cool to share if it comes out
Hmm.
soon. Um, and yeah, I'm working with some more uh, clients at the moment. That would be you'll see like in a month or a couple months. Yeah. Oh, I'm
Awesome.
totally out of focus.
You are out of focus. Oh, there you fixed it. Um, there you go. Um, and ha- your model that you're building, uh, you're making it with a 3D printer. Is that correct?
Yes. So you see behind me here this 3D printer.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
if you can see the
Pretty cool
logo,
that you have one at home.
yeah.
Uh,
I think it's such a cool technology, and I always had wanted to have one, but they're so expensive,
mm,
especially this one. Like this is a really expensive model,
hmm.
but I got such a good deal on it. It was like usually it costs let me like probably like $5,000,
Hmm.
but I got it for more like 500.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
You're
couldn't, like I had
Did it
to.
get sold? Did you buy it off the back of a truck?
I mean, almost like
That's
it was.
that's a saying in the United States where you buy stolen goods off the back of a truck. But
Wasn't stolen, but it might as well have been like
you stole it for $500.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, so you got there are other rocket launches. You are obviously focused on Raptor, and you could probably explain Raptor inside and out as well as anyone except for maybe Tim himself. And yeah,
I
so
mean, a lot of the other 3D guys are really like digging into the nitty-gritty details of like counting pixels and modeling every inch of the rocket engines.
hmm.
I don't really do that as much, but that's really impressive, I think. Yeah, but I can probably explain it like roughly how it works, but
Hmm.
not Raptor more than any other engine, I think. Um, yeah.
So not Raptor more than the other engines. All of them, huh?
just like
How
more
about
generally how rocket engines work, I think I don't spend as much time like looking at SpaceX or Raptor specifically, um,
mhm,
as a lot of other people do right now, I think.
mhm.
Um, so
Yeah, a lot of people are focused on it because it's the
yeah, I
one
mean,
that changed
obviously,
from
like
Raptor 1 to Raptor
I'm not
2,
saying
and
it isn't cool. It's extremely cool and extremely
uh,
exciting. Um, yeah,
um, and you're getting excited for Artemis and the SLS.
yeah.
Have you done any renders in that space yet, or
I
any
mean,
type of?
I have a model of SLS and I've done some renders on it.
Mhm,
I haven't done any like specific animations. I remember I
mhm,
did a small animation for it when it did its like long duration burn of the engines, I think. But
mhm.
yeah, probably should do that before the launch. That would be cool. I'm
That
really
would be cool.
looking forward to that. Yeah, that's gonna
E-
be
especially especially if you think about all of the different phases of that flight.
yeah,
The animations around that will be something that'll be great to
definitely.
have explained at some point. Um,
Yeah.
so what type of software? One of the questions that came out came from one of our viewers is what software program are you using for your modeling?
It came from Wigan, my guy. Uh,
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
yeah.
Go,
I
go
use
ahead.
Blender. It's called. It's a free software.
Uh,
Um, a lot of my fellow artists use Blender because it's free.
mhm,
Um, but you shouldn't like underestimate it because it's free. It's like really really complex and like strong. I shouldn't say complex. It can be maybe a little bit overwhelming, but
mhm.
it's extremely strong and powerful. Um, yeah, really really cool. Blender,
Cool.
it's called Blender 3D.
Mhm.
And then
Um,
for I should say for Rocket Explorer, I use Unity,
mhm.
which again is also free, which is very nice when you're just starting up.
That's
Um,
right. When you're a 23-year-old college student. Yeah. Good.
yeah,
So, so one of the things that uh, you do is you do all these animations. We've seen the Raptor animation already, although it's not released, but there's like an early release of some of your animation. What's your favorite animation that you've done of all the animations you've done, all the renders you've done? What is your favorite? What are you most proud of?
that's such a difficult question. I mean, there was one that Elon commented on Twitter, so that was pretty cool. I guess I
Hmm.
can be a little bit proud of that, but that's obviously also lucky that he just saw it. But that was like a render of super heavy's like plumbing at the bottom to all the raptors
Hmm.
and how just
Hmm.
messy that looks, or like a total squid.
Hmm.
Um, so that I'm pretty proud of. Hmm, I mean, yeah, the latest animations and renders for Tim's next video. I'm really excited about those.
Hmm.
And he has posted some teasers on Twitter, so you can see that.
Yes.
Um, let's see. I think there's an animation on my YouTube channel
Hmm.
that's called something like the Starship System 2021 or something,
Hmm.
that like showcases all the different Starship variations that's gonna be.
Hmm.
I think that turned out really cool. It's sort of like a music video, yeah, very stylish, showing the different Starship variations. I think that turned out
Hmm.
pretty cool.
And those change all the time. So as new
Yeah,
information comes out, and so
totally
uh,
outdated. Yeah,
oh yeah, you gotta you gotta update it occasionally. So you'll have to have a Starship 2022 or 2023 at some
I
point.
mean, you'll have to have a Starship April 23rd, and then a Starship April 24th, and then
That's
mean,
true. That's
pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Uh, I guess Booster Seven's been taken back to the to whatever fate
I I
awaits it.
can't even
And
tell anymore. That's I mean, I in the beginning, like in 2019 and
mhm,
beginning of 2020 also, I did some renders and some updates on what was happening down in Boca Chica, like
mhm,
regularly, I guess, or semi-regularly. Uh,
mhm,
but I just had to stop because it just got ridiculous. And seeing a lot of uh, the people and artists on Twitter like posting regular updates of all these things, because it's much more ridiculous now than it was back then. So many more
mhm.
things are happening. I can't even keep up. I have no idea like what the latest updates are because I just can't. I can't like keep up.
Yeah, I know it is difficult, but yeah, I think we're moving on to Booster 8 is the latest update. So,
If you
but I
say so.
but I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what Twitter says, right? Twitter says we're moving
yeah,
on to Booster 8, and whether that's true or not, or if it's Booster 10, you'll only know when they roll the next one down.
yeah.
Um, so, um, s- what what do you when you're creating these animations, what are you personally trying to achieve? What are you, here at Future Astronaut, we try to encourage people to get into computer science, into science, technology, engineering, those fields.
Right.
We're trying to encourage people that might be interested in future space flight to consider either following one of the astronaut routes if they want to become an astronaut,
Right.
or if they don't quite feel that they're up to that, a lot of them kind of are hoping for the price per launch to come way down. Um, what
Yeah.
what are you trying to convey? What is your um,
I mean, I wish I could say something like that. That's awesome. But for me, I think it varies a little bit about what it from thing to thing. Let's say
Mhm,
because for the videos that I put out on my YouTube channel and the animations and renders that I do
mhm,
just of random vehicles, I think that's just because I think it's really cool. So I want to like do something really cool and visualize something, and then luckily a lot of other people also think it's cool. So
mhm.
uh,
So they
that
get excited.
exactly, yeah. So it's very cool to see people excited about things and um, sort of visualizing the next very cool thing or a very cool thing from the past. Um, and I mean, for everyday astronaut videos and other sort of yeah, content like that, I think it's very cool that when people say that they learned something or it inspired them to sort of get into the industry or
Mhm.
um, yeah, take up like a mechanical engineer education or something like that. That's
That's right.
wildly cool that I can sort of be a part of that. I mean, obviously, 99% of it is up to Tim, and I just like visualize the past couple of videos. But yeah, I think that is extremely cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So you said that you've done, if I heard, you've done things of the past. Did I hear that correctly? You've done animations of the past, of past events?
Yes, I mean, sort of not like in a huge manner, but
Mhm,
I just have a bunch of different rocket models. So I have models of the Saturn V and
mhm.
the Redstone rocket and N1 rocket. And I mean, for Tim's video on Soviet rocket engines, I did like 100 plus
Oh, wow.
rocket engines.
Wow.
Those were all like most of them were like past engines that don't fly anymore. but
Hmm.
part of that history, and that was really cool. So yeah, I mean, as I said, I love all rockets. So doing like the history and the lineage of
Hmm.
the vehicles that we have today is just as cool to me as the. I mean, maybe Starship is a little bit cooler because it's sort of going to the moon and going to Mars. But
Right.
yeah, there's something
Yeah,
there.
that's what's cool about Artemis and about SLS and about
Yeah,
um, and someone commented that that video on the rocket engines was insane.
it was. It
So
was
it
insane to work
was.
on as well. It was.
Is it insane to work on?
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
we worked on it for over a year. So
hmm,
yeah. I mean,
that's
I
cool.
can't I can't imagine I can imagine the research that they did because they talked about it. Absolutely wild. I mean, I just have to find a bunch of images, but they had to like contact all these people about all like the different like what does this engine what is the thrust weight ratio of this engine, because this one website says this thing and the other website says another thing. So um,
It's kind of interesting how somehow Tim's got to sort through all that
it's
and come to a conclusion, which is the most accurate answer. I'm sure he had lots of contacts inside of Russia to assist him with that as well. Um, so um, there's SLS. What tell us about what you're thinking about. Your thoughts are on the SLS system. I know a lot of folks are don't like the fact it's not reusable, but
it's
Administrator
such a cool rocket. Like,
Nelson,
what are you
it
it's
is a
gonna
cool
be
rocket.
so loud. It's got big ass sorry, can I swear? It's got
Yeah,
very
you can.
big boosters. uh
It
it's taking us
does.
like it's taking us back to the moon. Like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah,
It's very, very cool. I mean, obviously
yeah.
Starship is sort of the next step and the
That's
next generation. um but SLS is sort of, I mean, sure, you can. There's a lot of valid criticisms about the price and the fact that it's
mm,
not reusable, but and I there's also some things about like NASA shouldn't be building rockets. They should be built. I mean, sure, but
yeah.
it's a cool rocket.
It
Like,
is a cool. It is a cool
so I
rocket.
can't. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, and that's kind of my take. At some point there will be a future rocket that'll be even
Yeah,
cooler. I'm
yeah,
hoping, because for much of Saturn V was the cool rocket for a long time, and there really wasn't anything else. And then it stopped flying. There
yeah.
was a space shuttle, but the space shuttle was a cool launch system as well.
Very cool.
But
Yeah,
very cool. But I can tell you, I'm in love with Falcon 9. I like the whole concept of it. They proved, what the shuttle was intended to do as far as reuse,
right,
Falcon 9 achieved. Um, and I think that is so cool because now people have to take reuse seriously. The only reason SLS is the way it is because no one took reuse seriously.
right. Yeah,
If NASA would have taken it seriously, it wouldn't would have had reuse, or at least they would have reused something. They would have followed ULA's model of trying to recover parts of the rocket or something along
like
those.
if they started on an SLS now, it would
Right.
probably have reusability in it.
Reuse.
So yeah,
That's
so
right. Yeah, it would be. And
you're
all the
right.
new rockets,
Falcon 9 is very cool. I gotta agree.
it is very cool. I've watched since uh, from the very beginnings of Falcon 9, and I remember Block 5 and all the um, excitement around, kind
Right,
of having a stabilized system, crew rated launch system.
right.
So,
Yeah, I remember
so
like when it came up to that, it was like, oh, what's the new Block 5 gonna look like? And then it came out. Banka Bandu was the launch. I think. Uh,
yes,
yeah, that was really exciting. And seeing, whoa, it has a black interstage, and yeah,
it's different. Yeah.
it was so fun.
So, do you ever want to go to space? Is that an aspiration?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
You need the price to come down from 55 million a seat or whatever. The
that
rumor
or
is
an
55.
inspiration for type thing. I
Oh,
mean, or maybe I can be a cool enough 3D artist that they want to put me in
take
some.
along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that would be amazing. Like maybe not Mars. Mars is another thing, but like going to space or going around the moon or something. Absolutely. Like how can you say no to that? That's like a trip of multiple lifetimes. Like you're not gonna get an opportunity like that not in today. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'd be, beggars can't be choosers, and so I'd be okay if Blue Origin called me up and said, "Hey, come do a suborbital trip." It'd be
for
the
sure,
coolest
for sure.
thing.
Yeah,
I think Pete Davidson missed a big opportunity by not going on that.
yeah.
Not going. So, um, what um for future astronaut is around, like I told you, around getting people interested in this. What would you say? What would be your message to people who are interested in what you're doing, interested in aspiring to what you do, interested um in the field in rocket science itself, or interested in becoming an astronaut? What would you say to them um as individuals?
Cool. I'll try to say something really inspiring. Inspiring.
There we go.
I don't know. I would just say like don't doubt that you can do the stuff that you want to do.
Mhm.
Yeah. Don't. I mean, if you put your mind to something and you just aspire to do something and you work hard enough to
Mhm.
do it, I think you can achieve it. I mean, obviously, also you have to get lucky in certain aspects, but if you work hard enough, you're gonna increase your chance of being lucky, I think.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean,
good.
when you see an opportunity uh, that comes along, don't be afraid to take it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it might be scary to see something that's like uh, a really cool opportunity, but you have to like take a chance or something. But yeah, go for it
Always go for it,
always.
right? You gotta take that opportunity
I mean,
when
I'm
when they
working
present
my
themselves.
dream job now, so it might be easy to say, but it only came along because I worked really hard, and then I also got a little bit lucky for
Right?
being at the right time. But I wouldn't have gotten
At the
lucky if
right.
I didn't work hard. I just, yeah,
Yes. Yeah. So you not only worked hard, but you're lucky that you made the right connections, right?
exactly,
Sometimes someone just has to take notice.
exactly,
And there's there's hard work, there's skill, and then there's a certain amount of luck
yeah.
in any endeavor that we're successful at.
And you
Um,
only develop a skill by doing the thing. So yeah, so just keep doing the thing. Like a lot of people ask me, like, how do you do 3D models? How did you get so good at doing? I don't think I'm really good, but I mean, a lot of people ask me that, and then all I can say is just do it. Just keep doing it, because um, yeah, I never feel like
so,
I'm good enough. So you have to just keep working until you feel
so,
like, yeah.
so what do your family and friends think of this? Are they into it as much, or
Oh, none of them
what
are
do they
nice
think?
rockets. I've never met a person like organically in Denmark that likes rockets. I've met some, but only by going to like a conference or something. Uh,
Okay,
it's very interesting. So no, and
so
it's
there's not a lot of SpaceX groupies over there that follow every tweet that Elon sends out and
I mean
looks
there are
at.
probably people around, and if you go on maybe like some Facebook pages or something, if you go on Facebook, um,
Mhm.
but no, and they think my family and such it's a real mix of they think it's cool that I'm like freelancing and doing my own work, but they think it's really
Mhm.
weird that it's all about rockets. So
Because they don't understand.
it's way too
No.
nerdy about these sticks that go. Brr. So
There you go.
yeah,
Um, so I hope you get over here for a launch soon. We have one next week, hopefully. Um,
it's on top of the bucket
and
list.
yes, so I hope you get over here for a launch, especially SLS. I think that will be amazing,
Yeah,
or the Super Heavy Starship. Its first orbital flight test. I think that will be absolutely amazing as well.
I mean, I've
Um,
never seen a rocket launch, so seeing either of those as my first rocket launch is probably going to spoil any other rocket launch ever. But it would
uh,
be, yeah, it would be incredible.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
the,
got
the,
to
the
my
thing is, it's
my
difficult.
first rocket launch was the shuttle's last rocket launch,
Um,
and it it was that was my first rocket launch to see, and I still remember that because, and of course, it's got the same strap-on boosters that SLS has got, but it was amazing. Um, it, I was closer than I normally am
hmm,
for a Falcon 9 launch. Um, so it was interesting how you first of all you saw the rocket, and then the
and the
time
sound.
goes by, and then the rumbles, and it is a rumble. It was a rumble such that everything around you vibrated.
Whoa,
You felt the whole thing rumbled, and it was you didn't even need to hear to sense that the rocket had uh, had left the pad. You didn't even have to hear or see. You could just feel
that's awesome.
that it
Hard
is.
to imagine.
So
Yeah, you
it
can't.
is. It is. And there's some great places down in Cocoa Beach, and across the what they call the river. It's not
Yeah,
really a river, from the launch site, and Titusville, where you can watch it and hang out with a bunch of people that watch rocket launches
yeah.
and track them all the time. So,
I think
um,
Tim actually made a video on it at some point, like all the good places to watch.
oh, you did, or someone did?
Tim did. Um,
Oh, Tim did. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Um, there are a lot of good places. The best is obviously the beach if it's a daytime launch.
yeah. That all
Playa
the
Linda.
there's the also the like feel the heat experience, but you have to like get tickets to that. Um,
Yeah, that's in the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Center,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Feel the Heat,
Get really
and
close.
yeah, where you're not very far away,
Yeah,
a- and so you actually win that you don't see the rocket. It's not like in Titusville, where you can see the rocket and see it launch. It in the Feel the Heat, you have trees in between you and the rocket,
right.
and but you definitely feel the heat. You feel the heat off of when they say feel the heat, that's a definite. You feel the heat coming off the rocket at that location.
Wild.
So it is wild.
Yeah.
So anyway, do you have anything else you want to share with our viewers before we uh, uh, let you go? You're in, get to bed or whatever you do at this time of night, and
Yeah, it
and
is.
uh,
It's getting a little bit late, but
yeah,
I will say I look very much forward to the next couple of weeks, and you will know why soon. And
awesome.
you'll see my model thing and a lot of other cool things.
And,
So
and
stay.
I'm and and so I'm looking very much forward to all your future work, to
Thank you very
you
much.
working and continuing to work with Tim and his crew, and for you eventually to make it over here for one of our launches. My favorite launch still is a Falcon Heavy launch and landing because I just thought seeing the boosters come back to the pad was just beyond belief.
Yeah,
So and
just
it's only 6 minutes. It's like
yeah.
it's like so fast that it's hard to believe.
I can't even.
Um, Yeah.
it's just the timing, like because I'm in Denmark and then I have to like purchase plane tickets, and if it gets scrubbed or something, then yeah, I
Yeah,
have
well, you're not you wouldn't be alone.
no,
You would not be alone. There will be other Europeans there that
yeah,
have come over for the launch, and then they say, "Well, how many more days do I extend my hotel stay while
yeah,
I'm here so I can see it?" And that's what happens. So,
yeah.
anyway, so thank you for taking the time to be with us here at Future Astronaut.
Thank you so
I'm
much for having me
hoping that we can get more and more people involved in this industry and get more and more people excited about this
Sure.
industry, and everything that you do helps bring that to pass. So I appreciate it. Thank you for your hard work, for the work you continue to do, and I look forward to seeing your model in a couple weeks, and it'll be great.
Thank you
So
so much
anyway,
for having me on. Yeah, it's been
thank you.